So let's get straight to the video. We are currently at the Angkor Wat ticketing temple, and you can get your ticket here before the ticketing office shuts tonight, and you can get a ticket for the next day's entrance. So that means you get free entry tonight. Most people don't realise, if they haven't booked onto a tour or if they do it on their own, that they come at 4 AM when the ticket office opens for the next day. The problem with that is, by the time you got a ticket and the queue, the sun has normally always risen. So a little tip for you, come the night before, get the ticket, which gets you validation for tomorrow and gets you in tonight. So ticketing only took literally about 2 minutes. We've paid the $74, it's $37 each for a day pass, and we're now going to shoot to one of the temples and see if we can get a banging sunset in. So we have arrived at Phnom Bakheng, which is supposed to have the best sunset views of the entire Angkor Wat. And you can tell, because there is a lot of tourists here. Everyone's got the same idea we have, to get up there for the sunset. There is hundreds here. This might be quite a busy and mainly unpleasant experience. We've found whenever there's so many tourists in one area, it can be quite annoying, but let's hope. Would I say that was worth the rush? And I hate to say it, but I would say no. Unfortunately, there was just so many tourists, thousands and thousands of them, all climbing all over the temple, all trying to get the perfect shot, getting in people's way. It reminded me very much, if you've not seen the video on this channel, of Fuji Hill in Laos. It just ruins it completely. This is a special religious site, and for people to be clambering just for a photo, yeah, it wasn't great, but glad we tried. So we're going to get back, have some food, have some drink, get a nice early night, because the next time you'll see us will be 4 or 5 in the morning when we're back on our way to Angkor Wat for the special sunrise. The time is currently 4:53 and we're off to catch the sunrise at Angkor Wat. Now luckily we've got an extra sort of half an hour in bed because we got the tickets last night, as you'd have already seen, and the park doesn't open until 5 o'clock and we're relatively close to it, and we've got a scooter, so that's why we've been able to get a little bit more sleep. So it's currently about 5:15 and we're just walking down the main stretch towards the Angkor Wat, and there is thousands, no thank you, we've got thousands of people heading towards the Angkor now. So busy. I don't think we'll get anywhere near the lake of reflection, but we'll give it a try. So Carly and I have just seen the sunrise over Angkor, and we got lucky. The whole area, as you can tell, is quite cloudy, but we got probably 20 minutes of actual sun glistening over the top of the temples.
We actually saw it rise. So exciting.
It was so beautiful. It's been 6 years since I last came here, and they've changed the area completely. They've now got a fence around the lake. They've properly built the lake, reinforced it. When I came 6 years ago, it was just a little bit of a pond with a load of dirt, and I think it's the best thing they could have done. It keeps all the tourists away from it. It keeps it authentic and natural. As for the tourists,
There's a lot.
there is a lot, and they are
A little bit pushy
they
and
were
loud.
yes,
Don't expect to come and have a nice quiet sunrise.
absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
It's the biggest frustration where you just want to watch the sunrise and enjoy it and just soak it all in, and you've got tourists screaming in your ear, pushing you out of the way. There was tourists having arguments with each other because they wouldn't give up their space for a perfect photo. Just enjoy this temple. This is the #1 temple in the world, the biggest, the best. Just enjoy it. And unfortunately, there's just so many people that want that shot. I mean, the sun has only been up 20 minutes.
Yep.
And everyone's already gone. It's just, take the photo, click next. It's such a, social media has ruined people. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's have a look at the actual Angkor Wat temple. If you come out of the far side of the temple, you still get the amazing views, but it's just so quiet. There's no tourists around this side. We've just been up to the top, so the Khan, which is the highest level, is absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful, the level of detail, and the massive Buddha statue right in the centre. So as we leave the Angkor Wat behind us, I'm going to give you 3 quick fire facts. 1, Angkor Wat is the largest religious monument in the world. 2, it was built in the 11th century. And 3, it was initially a Hindu temple and later turned into a Buddhist temple. There you have it. If that's anything you learn from this video, so the next stop, we have come to the Bayon Temple, which is also known as Angkor Thom. So the Bayon Temple is famously known for the vast amount of smiling Buddha faces that stick out on every side of each of the towers at the top of the temple. It's just so different to Angkor Wat, and it's only a 10-minute drive away. Unfortunately, here at the Bayon Temple, you can't climb up to the upper levels. The 3rd floor has been blocked off since COVID for renovation, but that's okay, we don't mind. I think tourists tend to ruin everything they get their hands on anyway. Another cool fact about this temple, just like Angkor Wat, this did used to also be Hindu before it became Buddhist. So next up in the Angkor Thom area is a temple called, I think it's pronounced Bapyeon, which is an 11th century pyramid style temple set back off this massive walkway. It's also, like the rest, equally as stunning. This temple is a lot more simple in its design and structure, but it's so set in the forest, just like the others. It's so immersed with the wildlife now. Oh, I'd love to have seen what it was like when it was first built all those years ago. They've closed it right off, but that makes sense because it does look the oldest and most fragile of the lot, so that's the right thing to be doing, I think. And last up in the Angkor Thom area of Angkor Wat is the Terrace of the Elephants, which looks like a massive walkway, sort of potentially an entrance to the royal palace area. Could be that it was used for events because it's covered by a huge field behind it, so it could have potentially been a promenade as such. So the next temple we have come to is Preah Khan, which is set quite far back from the main road and where the gates are. But like the rest, it's set in a beautiful jungle environment. Unfortunately, it looks like both of the guards have lost their heads. This is probably, out of all the temples we've visited so far, the one that is probably most fallen into ruin. But there's a huge charm to that as well. You wouldn't think when we first walked up to the temple that there was much about it at all. It was a relatively small entrance, but the actual grounds are huge and it has so much character with the amount that's still standing versus the amount that's fallen over. It just feels like the jungles is starting to absorb the temple. In that respect, it's probably up there as the prettiest one so far. So next up on the list, excuse the noise, that's all the cicadas in the trees. Yeah, next up on the list is the Ta Prohm temple, which is more affectionately known as the Tomb Raider temple, because this apparently appeared in the films. I've not watched them in a few years, so I might have to check that out later and see how true that is. And this one is supposed to have one of the most iconic pictures where there's a tree growing out of the temple. is the actual official tree that is on the temple. There is actually quite a few in this area that are being the trees that eat the temple, so to speak. This one is the one, so it's incredibly touristy, so we've got to bide our time to get a quick photo before we move on to the next place. So we just come back to Angkor Wat just one last time. We had to see that amazing temple in the middle of the day, just before the sun starts getting low, because we only saw it first thing in the morning, and honestly, with the blue sky behind it and the sun now on the other side, it's lighting that temple up like you've never seen before. It is absolutely perfection. So our final temple of this amazing day at Angkor Wat is Siem. Now this has also got some great reviews of sunset, and I think we've just about got here in time, probably got about 10-15 minutes before the sun goes down. I was a bit emotional last night when I started slagging off, shall we say, the last night's sunset, but for me that wasn't Angkor Wat. There was too many people up there, the way everyone was crowding, but today this has been exactly what I remembered Angkor Wat used to be like, but it's been 10 times better. We have seen so much today, so many beautiful temples as well. So let's end this on a good note and let's finish at Siem in style. Five more steps. Here comes Rocky. This is a million times better. There is literally only about 10-15 people up here, so we can have a proper, relaxing, undisturbed last minute sunset. Siem Reap is a little bit further out in the Angkor territory, so it makes sense that most people go to the closest one where we were last night, but this one is so much better. So yeah, Angkor Wat and the surrounding area. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, should you still come visit, or oh, there's a sting in the tail with it shutting early and all of that. Honestly, if you're going to come to Cambodia, you're going to come to Siem Reap, and if you come to Siem Reap, you're going to come to Angkor Wat. So there's no need for me to sit here and patronise you lot if you've got this far watching the video. What I will say is, getting a scooter for us was by far the best way to travel around. It was a lot cheaper and a lot easier, and we could do it in our own time. We can get food when we wanted. We just found it so much better. You know, for families, I understand a tuk-tuk makes more sense, but I think overall the way they have looked after this place with the support of UNESCO and many other charities, they've got a brilliant balance between leaving things to ruin and renovating, so you still get that real feel of what it was like. Some of the temples were like back in their early 11th, 12th century, and you can see others that have just over time just fallen to ruin. I think it is absolutely stunning. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. I couldn't recommend highly enough to come, but you know that already, you're going to come. So that is the end of the video. So from Carly and I, thank you ever so much for watching this one. Please like and subscribe as always, it means a lot to us and the channel, and we shall see you in the next one.